Alright, yins guys, I'm gonna move along here finally, because I got the time, and I'm gonna start reading the actual Book of Jubilees here. Last we left off here was the introduction and the whole story about it here. That's what I did in the last video. So now, for my readers that are faithfully following me on some of this stuff here, you know who you are. I'm going to go ahead and read a couple chapters here in the actual Book of Jubilees here, because I've been meaning to get around to it. So let's get on with it. All right, here. It starts out, "This is the account of the division of the days of the law and the testimony of the events of the years according to their year weeks and their jubilees through all the years of the world, as the Lord gave it to Moses on Mount Sinai, when he went up to receive the stone tablets of the law and of the commandment, in accordance with God's command. He said to him, 'Go up on the top of the mount.'" Okay. "And it came to pass that in the first year of the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt, in the 3rd month, on the 16th day of the month, that God spoke to Moses, saying, 'Come up to me on the mount, and I will give you the 2 stone tablets of the law of the commandment, which I have written, so that you may teach them.' And Moses went up into the mount of God. The glory of the Lord rested on Mount Sinai, and a cloud overshadowed it for 6 days. And on the 7th day he called to Moses in the cloud, and the glory of the Lord spoke like a flaming fire on the mountain top. And Moses was on the mount 40 days and 40 nights, and God taught him the first things and the last things, and the division of all the days of the law and of the testimony. And he said, 'Listen carefully to everything I tell you on this mountain, and write it in a book, so that the generations to come may know that I have not forsaken them on the account of all the evil they have done in transgressing the covenant that I have established between me and you on Mount Sinai today for all their generations.' And so when all these things have happened to them, they will recognize that I am more righteous than they are in all they think and do, and they will recognize that I have kept faith with them. Write down everything then that I tell you today, for I know how defiant and stubborn they are. And before I lead them into the land which I swore an oath to their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, 'To your descendants I will give a land flowing with milk and honey,' and they will eat and be satisfied, and they will turn to foreign gods that are powerless to rescue them in their distress. And then this evidence will serve as evidence against them, for they will forget all my commandments and I give them, and copy the Gentiles, their uncleanness and their shame, and worship their gods, and they will prove a stumbling block to them, a source of distress and misery, and a snare. And many will perish, and others will be taken captive, and fall into the enemy's hands, because they have forsaken my law and commandment, and the festivals of my covenant, and my Sabbaths, and my holy offerings which I have hallowed for myself in their midst, and the tabernacle and my sanctuary which I have hallowed for myself in the midst of the land, to make it a dwelling place for my name. And they will make hill shrines and sacred poles and carving images. Each one will worship his own carved image and go astray. And they will sacrifice their children to demons and to all the idols they have made, and the error of their hearts. And I will send witnesses to them to witness against them, but they will not listen, and they will kill the witnesses and persecute those who seek the law. And they will abrogate and change everything and do what is evil in my sight. and I will hide my face from them and hand them over to the Gentiles to be taken captive and to be preyed upon and to be devoured. And I will drive them out of the land and scatter them among the Gentiles, and they will forget all my law and all my commandments, which my precepts, and go astray, and as regards to the new moons and Sabbaths and festivals and jubilees and the other ordinances. And after this they will turn to me from among the Gentiles with all their heart and with all their soul and all their strength, and I will gather them from among the Gentiles, and they will seek me, and I will let them find me. And when they seek me with all their heart and with all their soul, I will grant them an age of peace and righteousness, and set them apart as an upright plant. With all my heart and with all my soul they shall be a blessing and not a curse, and the head and not the tail. And I will build my sanctuary in their midst, and I will dwell with them and be their God, and they shall be my people in truth and righteousness. And I will not forsake them nor fail them, for I am the Lord their God. And Moses prostrated himself and prayed and said, O Lord my God, do not forsake thy people and thine own possession, and let them not wander in the error of their hearts. Deliver them not into the hands of their enemies, the Gentiles, and let them not rule over them and make them sin against thee. Let thy mercy, O Lord, watch over thy people, and create in them an upright spirit, and not let the spirit of Beliar rule over them, to accuse them before thee and ensnare them from all the paths of righteousness, so that they perish from thy sight. For they are thy people, and thine own possession, whom thou hast delivered with thy great power from the hands of the Egyptians. For they are thy people and thine own possession, whom thou hast delivered with thy great power from the hands of the Egyptians. Create in them a pure heart and a holy spirit, and let them not be ensnared in their sins now or ever. And the Lord said to Moses, I know of their contrariness, their thoughts and their stubbornness, and they will not be obedient till they acknowledge their own sin and the sin of their fathers. And after this they will turn to me in all uprightness in their heart and soul, and I will circumcise the foreskin of their heart and the foreskin of the heart of their sons, and I will create in them a holy spirit, and I will cleanse them, so that they shall not turn away from me again, from that day till eternity. And they will hold fast to me and to all my commandments, and fulfill my commandments, and I will be their father, and they shall be my children, and they shall be called the children of the living God. And they shall be called the children of the living God. And every angel and spirit shall know, they shall know indeed, that these are my children, and that I am truly and genuinely their father, and that I love them. And do you write down everything I tell you on this mountain, the first things and the last things that shall come to pass in all the divisions of the days, in the law and the testimony, and the weeks of jubilees till eternity, till I descend and dwell with them through all eternity. And he said to the angel of presence, write for Moses the account from the beginning of creation till the time when my sanctuary shall be built among them for all eternity, and the Lord appear in the sight of all, and all know that I am the God of Israel, and the father of all the sons, Jacob, and king on Mount Zion for all eternity, and Zion and Jerusalem shall be established. And the angel of presence, who used to go before the camp of Israel, took the tablets and divisions of years from the time of the creation of the law and the testimony, the tablets, that is, of the weeks of the Jubilees according to their years, according to all the number of the Jubilees to their years, from the day of the creation till the day when the heavens and the earth are renewed, and with all creation, and with all created things, both in heaven and on earth, until the day when the sanctuary of the Lord is created in Jerusalem, on Mount Zion, and all the luminaries are renewed as instruments of healing and peace and of blessing for all the elect of Israel, and that so it may be from the day as long as the earth lasts. And the angel of the presence spoke to Moses in accordance to the Lord's command, saying, write the complete history of the creation, how the Lord God finished all his works and all that he created on the sixth day, and kept Sabbath on the seventh day, and hallowed it for all ages, and appointed it as a sign for all his works. For on the first day he created the heavens which are above, and the earth, and the waters, every spirit that serves before him, the angel of presence, and the angels of holiness, and the angels of the spirit of fire, and the angels of the spirit of the winds, and the angels of the spirit of the clouds and of darkness, and of the snow and hail and hoarfrost, and the angels of the depths, and of the thunders and the lightnings, and the angels of the cold winds and the hot winds, and of the winter and the spring, and autumn and summer, and the spirits of his creatures in the heavens and on the earth, and all the abysses, and the deep darkness, and the light, and the dawn, and the morning, and the evening, which he had already prepared and planned. And when we saw his works, and we blessed him and sang praises before him because of all his works. For on the first day he created 7 great works. And on the next day he created the vault between the waters, and the waters were divided on that day. Half of them went up above, and half of them went down below. The vault that was between them over the earth, and this was the only work he did on the second day. And on the third day he commanded the waters to be gathered together from the surface of the earth into one place, and the dry land to appear. And the waters did so, just as he commanded them. And they receded from the surface of the earth into one place outside the vault, and dry land appeared. And on that day he created all the seas in their separate gathering places, and all the rivers in the gatherings of the waters, and in the mountains all over the earth, and all the lakes, and the dew of the earth, and all the dew of the earth, and the seed that is sown, and all plants that grow, and the trees that bear fruit, and the trees of the wood, and the garden of Eden in Eden, and all these 4 great works God created on the third day. And on the fourth day he created the sun and the moon and the stars, and he set them in the vault of heaven to give light on earth, to have charge over day and night, and to separate light from darkness. And God appointed the sun as the great sign on earth, and to mark the days and weeks, and months, and festivals, and years and weeks of years, and jubilees, and all the seasons of the years. And it separates light from darkness, and is the source of health, so that everything may be healthy and sprouts and grows on earth. These 3 kinds of lights he made them on the 4th day. And on the 5th day he created the great sea monsters in the depths of the waters. These were the first living creatures that were created by his hands, and all the fish that swim in the waters, and all kinds of birds that fly. And the sun rose over them all to give them health, over everything that was on the earth, all plants and trees and living creatures. These 3 kinds of living creatures he created on the 5th day. And on the 6th day he created all the wild animals of the earth, and all the cattle and everything that moves on the earth. And after all of this, he created a man and a woman, and he created and made them master over everything that is on the earth and in the seas, and over everything that flies, and over the wild animals and the cattle and that moves on the earth. Everything that flies. I guess that includes insects too, as well as birds, right? Excuse me. And over the whole earth. And all this he made him master. And the 4 kinds of creatures he created on the 6th day, and there were altogether 22 kinds. And he finished all his work on the 6th day, and that is in, excuse me, and he finished all his work on the 6th day. All that is in the heavens and on earth and in the seas and the abysses and in the light and the darkness and in everything. And he gave us a great sign, the Sabbath day, that we should work for 6 days, but keep Sabbath from all work on the 7th day. And all the angels of presence and all the angels of holiness in 2 great classes, he commanded us to keep the Sabbath with him in earth on the earth. And he said to us, Behold, I will set apart for myself a people of all the peoples, and they shall keep the Sabbath day, and I will hallow them as my own people, and I will bless them, and I have hallowed the Sabbath day, and do hallow it as mine. Even so I will bless them, and they shall be called my people, and I will be their God. And I have chosen Jacob's descendants out of all the peoples, for I have seen him, and I have marked him down as my eldest son, and hallowed him as mine forevermore. And I will teach them the law of the Sabbath day, and they may keep Sabbath on it from all work. And he created it a sign that they should be like him, and they should keep the Sabbath with us on the 7th day, and eat and drink and bless him who created all things. And he blessed his own and he blessed and hallowed as his own a special people out of all the peoples, and they shall keep the Sabbath together with us, and doing of his commandments should ascend before him forever like a pleasant, soothing odor. There were 22 patriarchs from Adam to Jacob, and 22 kinds of created things. Okay, let's read that again. There were 22 patriarchs from Adam to Jacob, and 22 kinds of created things were made before the 7th day. And this day is blessed and holy, and Jacob also was blessed and holy. And so 2 together are hallowed and blessed, and to Jacob and his descendants it was granted that they should always be blessed and holy ones of the first covenant and law, even as he had hallowed and blessed the Sabbath on the 7th day. In 6 days he created heaven and earth and everything that he created. And on the 7th day God made holy for all his works. That is why he gave the command that whosoever does any work on it shall die, and that whoever defiles it shall most surely die. And so you must command the sons of Israel to observe this day and keep it holy, and do not do any work on it, nor defile it, for it is holier than any other days. And whoever profanes it shall most surely die, and whoever does any work on it shall die eternally, so that Israel's sons may observe this day on every generation, and not be uprooted from the land. For it is a holy day and a blessed day, and every man who observes it and keeps the Sabbath on it from all his work, he will be holy and blessed for all time, like us. Proclaim the law of this day to the sons of Israel, and tell them to keep Sabbath on it, and not make the mistake of thinking that they can ignore it, and that it is not lawful to do any work that is unseemly to do business on it, or draw water, or carry any heavy load through their gates on it, neither in or out, and that they should not prepare on it anything to eat or drink that they have not prepared for themselves already in their homes on the sixth day. So they should prepare their stuff like a day ahead. And they shall not bring in or take out anything from one house to another on that day, for that day is more holy and blessed than any Jubilee day. That is why we kept Sabbath in the heavens before it was made known to any mortal, to keep Sabbath on it on earth. And the Creator of all things blessed it, and all things blessed it. But he did not hallow for all peoples and nations to keep Sabbath on it, but Israel only. Well, let's read that again. And the Creator of all things blessed it, but he did not hallow all peoples and all nations to keep Sabbath on it, but Israel only. So only Israel. Then alone on earth did he allow to eat and drink and keep Sabbath on it. And the Creator of all things blessed on this day, which he had created for blessing and holiness above all days. This law and statute was given to Israel's sons as a law forever, for all their generations. So other words, it says right here, word for word, that these rules are actually created for Israel only, not everybody else, because according to writings and scriptures, Israel was required to, because of they were God's people. And should I go ahead and read another chapter here? How long is this video going to be here? Yeah, should I read another chapter? Or not? I should save another one for another day. This is already 22 minutes long. Let's see. Up to here where I should read another page, because this is so I should maybe save this to another day. This is a lot of stuff that we're getting into here. I think this is like a couple chapters I read already. And we're getting into the story of Adam and Eve and all that stuff too, according to this book. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and read this on another video. Yeah, this is a lot of stuff. We'll get into Adam and Eve, and Enoch will be mentioned here in the next couple pages quite often, just like one of my viewers have said in my introductory video about this book. 24 minutes long this video is, so yeah. Alright, I'm going to end it here, and stay tuned. Eventually, I get the time, I'm like to do some more reading, like another couple chapters. Yeah, like I said, we'll get into Adam and Enoch and all that very soon. I mean, this is going to be a lot more stuff in it than your King James Bible, Genesis and Exodus and stuff. It's going to be pretty interesting and enlightening. Alright, so that's it. Stay tuned. See you next time.